week, presented by Lowe's. Welcome to Paradise. Paradise Island, Atlantis Resort. Couldn't ask for a better setting for college basketball, gorgeous weather, and some great hoops. Hi folks, John Shambi alongside Jimmy Dykes. All right, we'll get to the basketball in a second, but there's so much great stuff to do here. I know you're big with the Sea Lions, and you're going to go down the Lazy River. You're excited.
And nice of you to step down from your $25,000 a night bridge suite, by the way, to be with us. And they are Sea Lions, they're not seals, don't make that mistake. This field is loaded, Boo. You're talking about the tradition of college basketball on one island for Thanksgiving. They're here with all the Final Four appearances, the NCAA tournaments. This field is loaded right now with 4 top 25 teams. I think there's a couple of more just outside the top 25 that could make a Final Four run. That's how good it is. And the individual talent, Cole Anthony, Miles Powell, who's playing like a National Player of the Year.
All right, we're going to get inside and get this thing tipped. College basketball coming your way from Atlanta. Welcome to the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis. Iowa State getting set. College basketball coming your way from the Bahamas, and a great one to tip things off. Iowa State taking on Michigan. Juwan Howard making his way into the arena, first-year head coach for the Wolverines. We'll start it off with the Wolverines of the Cyclones, and then number 6, North Carolina, Cole Anthony taking on Alabama. Our late games feature Gonzaga and Southern Miss, and a good one with Seton Hall taking on Oregon. Welcome courtside, everybody. John Shambi and Jimmy Dykes, and tough assignment, but we're going to be okay. All right, so we start on the Michigan side. John Beilein is gone after 12 years.
Yeah.
First-year head coach Juwan Howard takes over. Your thoughts?
I think he's outstanding. I think he's so good. He will coach on a Monday night in April at some point in his career. Obviously, the passion for Michigan runs deep with this guy as a former player. I've been so impressed what he's done on film and in person yesterday in practice. Michigan made an outstanding hire. Replacing John Beilein is not easy, and guarding this guy today for Juwan Howard is not easy as well. Tyrese Halliburton averaging 10 assists a ball game on a team that doesn't shoot straight. He's a long, lanky 6'5" point guard. When the ball's in his hand, the game is in his hands, and Michigan better get after this guy early.
As we get ready to go, and Halliburton, outstanding sophomore, and he'll go up against an outstanding point guard on the other side. We have numbers 1 and 2 in assists in the country in Halliburton and Xavier Simpson, 2 great point guards. Simpson, a guy who was recruited hard by Steve Prohm. And inside the Imperial Ballroom, we get set to tip off the battle for Atlantis.
Number 3 for Michigan, Xavier Simpson, is as good of a leader as there is in college basketball. There are none better. He's right there with the best of them. And for the next 3 days in Atlantis, you will see this kid with the ball right here. A tough-voiced guy with a tough game to back it up.
And our starting lineups are brought to you by Atlantis. Simpson, Wagner in the lineup. Brooks, Livers, and Teske. Franz Wagner bears watching as he is getting his first playing time of the year. He missed their first 4 games with a fractured wrist. Simpson goes baseline, active hands and a turnover. And the Cyclones with the basketball. As we check out the Iowa State starting lineups brought to you by Atlantis. Halliburton, Bolton, Nixon, Young, and Jacobson. Livers tries. And a 3 won't go, tipped away. And so far, both teams coming up empty.
And what we've seen so far, Iowa State on the very first possession with a quick double team on John Teske. And that is a big 7-1 guy that's playing outstanding ball, and Iowa State's going to try to take him out early.
The Colorado State transfer Prentice Nixon gets the scoring started. And the Cyclones by a deuce.
Iowa State, they don't turn the ball over. They fight hard. They fight for rebounds as a team, just not making shots. What does Teske do? Instead of fighting the double team on the block, he locates to that 15-foot shot and knocks it down well. He's a very good player, Teske. Best ball screen defender in the Big Ten.
Jacobson now. This is an Iowa State team that the last few years they have been elite offensively. Halliburton, floater wouldn't go. Teske the rebound. In the early going, however, Iowa State has not shot the ball well. Wagner gets it to go. His first college shot and his first bucket. Franz Wagner, the younger brother of Mo Wagner, who's now with the Wizards of the NBA.
He's a big guard is what Wagner is. He moves the ball, he plays, 1 pass ahead. Oh boy, what a start though, huh, for this kid?
That was from way deep, missed the mark. Michigan the early lead. Halliburton the crossover, and now Young just beyond the free throw line gets it to go.
Halliburton's got all the passes, Boog. The pocket passes are right into the shot spot. He's 6'5", he's long, very smooth. In person, he's quicker than he is on film.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton goes about 6'5", 175.
Yeah.
Kick to the corner and a turnover. Well, Steve Prohm told us they'd play some zone. We've seen it a little bit. 5th year as he took over for the mayor, Fred Hoiberg, and 3 NCAA tournament appearances in 4 years.
Well, he's a guy that, much like Hoiberg, not afraid to take transfers, and they've been so good at identifying the proper guys that fit. And no zone until they get to the island. And trying to steal a couple possessions with it in this first half. Don't be surprised. This kid is so good, man. A little bit of a set shot from the three-point line, but he can get his shot off now, those long arms in that 6'5" frame.
Simpson, and they get the offensive foul, and it'll be on Teske.
Boog, watch Tyrese Halliburton at 6'5". Just great understanding. You can kind of put him in this back to the basket, let him post up a little bit. The separation step back to get away from Teske. So well done.
Xavier Simpson got cleared out
yes,
on a screen by Solomon Young.
And we all know Xavier Simpson is as good of an on-ball defender as we have in the college game. Matched up against Halliburton right now.
Nixon, jumper wouldn't go. Teske the board, and Simpson leading the Wolverines up ahead. Wagner now puts it on the floor. Shot blocked by Jacobson. And Rasir Bolton kicks it back out, and they'll set it up. Iowa State an early 1-point advantage. John Shambi, Jimmy Dykes, the battle for Atlantis. And a jumper is good by Solomon Young.
But Michigan with Teske, he's drop covering right now any ball screen. So all Iowa State's doing is popping the ball screen guy to the 15-foot mark, Solomon Young.
Jacobson another block, and Halliburton backs it out. Tyrese Halliburton probing, and now the kick out. Nixon into the paint. Kind of a baby hook, and that'll go.
What a start for Iowa State. A team that has not shot the ball well, but they've done everything else so far this season. And they're doing a terrific job of attacking the drop coverage of Jon Teske as a ball screen defender.
And they get another offensive foul as Teske called for the moving screen. Iowa State an 8-0 run. Basketball is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. Builds a better mower. Mow with an attitude. Atlantis Paradise Island, Bahamas at heart. Wendy's, for a limited time, grab 2 faves for just $5. We got you. Back here in the Bahamas, Iowa State with the early lead. A little teaching from Jimmy Dykes.
Well, the one change that Juwan Howard has made defensively is they go to drop coverage in their ball screen. This is Teske, and he's assigned to Solomon Young, who's getting ready to come set a ball screen, but they drop that guy back. They're in drop coverage. As a result, Solomon Young can just relocate now to knock down 15, 16-foot shots. What does the drop coverage do? It keeps the ball out of the painted area of the floor, makes you make shots over the top of them, and it takes away the lob plays. What it allows is the spotted up 15, 16-foot short rolls that Solomon Young just got.
And speaking of Jon Teske, by the way, he's now on the bench with a couple of fouls. So their big guy will sit down. We'll see how long for. Teske sits.
The size on the floor has now evened out. And that muscle that Michigan had around the rim is probably on the bench for the remaining parts of the second half.
Little floater there from Bolton, the Penn State transfer. He gets the bucket.
Hadn't shot it well, has he, so far this year, but averaged, what, 11, 12 points last year. Only 11% from the three-point line so far.
Wagner flips it up. That wouldn't go, but the tip is good from Castleton.
Pretty good breaks by Wagner because it's a hard drive. Kept that pivot foot down. Boy, the ability to stop in college ball is so important.
Iowa State in the early going shooting 27% from three. That's not a three, it's a deep two, and it's off the mark from Solomon Young.
Probably not the shot that Steve Prohm wanted in his early offense out of Solomon Young.
And a foul on Iowa State's Rasir Bolton. Last year, Steve Prohm's team, 9th in the country in offensive efficiency. They led the Big 12 in both points per game and field goal percentage.
Yeah, but the guys they lost, man, all those dudes are gone.
Yep.
You know, you talk about Marial Shayok and at least 4 of your top 5 scorers, and it's going to take a while for the offense to gel. They have not shot it well on the road or at home. Maybe they'll shoot it well in the ballroom. At least that's what they're hoping for.
They lost close to 80% of their scoring. Livers from the left side. Halliburton the rebound. Good rebounding guard.
How about the on-ball defense by Iowa State to start this game?
Bolton looking for some help. Jacobson comes. Shot clock under 10. Halliburton with Wagner on him. And now Jacobson. And do they get the foul on Simpson? Wow.
Iowa State in late clock, instead of spreading the floor and allowing the 1-5 mismatch drive, they post up Jacobson because he's a 4 guy being guarded by Xavier Simpson. Steve Prohm's offensive mind is so good in terms of counters and what they look for, how they attack. Costly foul by Simpson to reach in.
But fair to say that if Simpson got isolated on Jacobson down in the low block, it's fine to foul him. But fouling him on a jump shot is not what you want.
Very well put, Boog. And Juwan Howard I was very impressed with his demeanor yesterday with his guys in terms of always teaching. Kind of a soft-spoken, but a tremendous amount of passion and energy from him.
George Condit, the 4th, is checked in. Caleb Grill as well into the game for Iowa State.
Iowa State icing that side step-up ball screen by Michigan to start the game, forcing it down on that outer third of the floor.
Brooks feed inside. Castleton might have gotten a piece of it on the Iowa State side defensively, and now the Cyclones the other way.
But he didn't take it up real short. What a pass.
Great look, Halliburton.
I love George Condit, the 4th. This guy on film at 6'11", runs like a deer. He's long, he's active. And the pocket pass again from Halliburton. Dynamic.
And right there, the jumper from Eli Brooks. Cyclones by 7. As per usual, the Cyclones travel well. They're one of the best fan bases in all of college basketball. Wagner almost with a takeaway. Condit comes away with it, gets it to Nixon.
And you got short clock at 12. There's the mismatch you talked about earlier. Wide open.
Halliburton to Condit, rejected by Castleton. And now Simpson.
Halliburton's got to take that open 3, man.
And a 3 knocked down by Brooks. That's a big swing, and all of a sudden, it's a 4-point game.
Yeah, you saw the lack of confidence by Halliburton. A 29% three-point shooter turned one down wide open with 7 on the shot clock.
Grill trying to find the cutting Nixon. It's out of bounds. It stays with Iowa State. All right, Feast Week rolls on tonight. Championship game of the Jim Maui Invitational. Dayton and Kansas. And that'll be at 5 o'clock Eastern time. And Virginia Tech and BYU will go up in the 3rd place game.
Well, Michigan State's not on the graphic, to surprise to a lot of people. We watched Dayton here last year in Obi Toppin. He was the best player here last year and has only improved his game. And he is a real problem to cover for Kansas. If Kansas is going to win that game tonight, Isaiah Moss has to make 4 or 5 three-point shots. And can Kansas stay with that big lineup against a very versatile offensive team in Dayton?
Simpson gets in, rattles it home. And we got ourselves a 2-point game. Xavier Simpson, one of the best point guards in the country.
I talked about his leadership early in this game. His tough guy voice with his teammates, it resonates. They respect him. He's a coach on the floor. He's as good a leader as there is in college ball.
Shot clock under 10. Halliburton with the bigger Castleton on him, way downtown. And that missed by a lot, out of bounds. And it'll be Michigan basketball when we return. And when we return, we'll get to know Tyrese Halliburton. That's coming up.
Tyrese, it's snowing in Iowa. We're in a water paradise, but I heard you're afraid of the water.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say afraid. I can't, if I can't touch, I'm not getting in.
I mean, it's only 3 feet. We can do this now. There's water slides. We got 6-year-olds coming down the water slides. What are we going to do here? We got to fix this.
I mean, eventually I'm going to learn, but just not in public. I got to do it in a private session.
Oh, you need privacy.
I need privacy, yeah.
You decided to come back this year. You're on a lot of draft boards. Yeah. What do you hope to accomplish with your sophomore season?
Just continue to create a legacy at Iowa State, continue the winning tradition. For myself, I just, I think I have a ceiling that I, can reach. I'm not there yet, and I think I just want to make the tournament again, and I want an NCAA tournament win for sure.
Water sports not his thing. Hoops definitely is.
Well, Tyrese Halliburton and the Cyclones certainly above water so far. From Oshkosh, Wisconsin, the state player of the year last year, second in the country in assist to turnover. You harken back, remember Monte Morris, who was an outstanding point guard, did such a great job taking care of the basketball for them. And now that tradition kind of continues.
Steve Prohm made a great point to us yesterday that this is the first full-time year that Halliburton has been a full-time point.
Livers inside, +1. He'll go to the line. It's a 9-0 Michigan run and a chance at a 3-point play, and Michigan with an opportunity at the lead. And Adrian Nunez will check in. Eli Brooks will sit.
But this Livers kid is so versatile. Now, this is only his 5th free throw attempt of the year. Came in with 4 free throw attempts in 127 minutes. So I want him to get a little bit more of a bulldog mentality going towards the rim with the ball. But he touches the game now in a lot of areas. He's a 6'7" big guard is what he is. Iowa State playing off the elbow touches.
Condit gives off Bolton. Condit again going to work inside. First turnover of the game for the Cyclones about 8.5 minutes in.
Really good job by David DeJulius, who's 6 feet, guarding a 6'10" guy on the low block. He's 6 feet and he got lower. It doesn't matter how tall you are as a post defender. You have to play low, and DeJulius did.
Simpson may have had it knocked away, but he turned it over again. Inside and flashing to the rim is Bolton. He gets the bucket.
How good was the step at the free throw line by Rasir Bolton? I mean, he was going 90 miles an hour, and bam, in one step, he went to 110. Terrific.
Adrian Nunez here, and that jumper is good. That's what he likes to do.
Can't let him do it, man. If he makes a shot by putting it on the floor, that's one thing. You let him catch and shoot, that's on you as a defender.
Good hands, Livers. Stepping in is DeJulius. Couldn't finish, but he gets fouled. And that foul on Zion Griffin.
Talk about the explosive step of Rasir Bolton right there. Man, that was a big, fast, quick step. Even in slow motion, you see the ground that he covers and the get-by ability of the defender.
Well, he's no stranger to playing Michigan. Sophomore who began his career last year at Penn State, 11.5 points a game for the Nittany Lions. And Rasir Bolton expecting to make a big impact in the Big 12 and on this Iowa State team.
Yeah, his shot selection on film is a little bit to be desired, but you mentioned earlier, Iowa State comes in shooting 27% from the three-point line, and talking to their staff earlier this week, 70% of the threes they've taken this year are shots they want to take.
Right.
That's a really good percentage from a coach's standpoint. The ball's just not going in. You don't have to make them all. Certainly can't miss them all.
You got to stay in good process, right?
Yeah.
Eventually you get good results. Shot wouldn't go. Simpson.
Stop the ball. Stop the ball.
Simpson looking for a foul. It ends up with Grill.
Go.
Cyclones the other way.
Go. Get it to Halliburton. Go. There it is.
Bolton, 3 from the corner, and a great look at it. Couldn't hit. Rebound Jacobson, and they'll set it back up. Nice look. Condit inside, and one. George Condit from Tyrese Halliburton.
George Condit has a great set of paws. This kid does not fumble good passes or bad passes. Look at Halliburton. He knows where the ball's going right now. Bam. Before he ever got it, his vision was on the pass coming to him and where the pass needs to go. And George Condit, tremendous strength play. The eyes are up, takes the hit. Very well done.
Absorbed that contact. His dad, George III, played defensive line for Iowa State in the early 90s. So he absorbed that football-type contact there.
You see Iowa State extend with their 1-2-2 press. Just to slow you down, make you work with a shortened clock after the timeline.
Livers to inbound. Solomon back in. It's Michigan by a point.
Flex. Iowa State just blows it up, not accepting to be screened.
Feed inside, Castleton, and he traveled.
This kid cannot play through contact yet. I like his skill level, I like his toughness for what his body can bring to the game, but the least bit of contact on Castleton just really bothers him. Fumbles the ball. Terrific pass, though, by Xavier Simpson, goes to waste.
Wolverines averaging a little over 12 turnovers a game. They've already got 7. Halliburton a little short on that shot. Simpson up ahead of the pack. Bolton tried to slap it away. Simpson in for the deuce, and it's Michigan by 3.
If Michigan's going to continue to play that drop ball screen coverage, look for Steve Prohm to put a shooter now into the ball screen action. The pop will be there for a 3, and Jacobson's a guy right now with a ball that can do it.
Jacobson couldn't hit. Tipped out by Halliburton. And then Bolton turns it over. Simpson the other way. Inside now outside DeJulius, and it rattles home. It's a 2, says Todd Austin.
Well, that's on David DeJulius if it is a 2, because he had plenty of time to measure where he was on the court. But what a find by Xavier Simpson. Right now the game is in his hands.
Back here in the Bahamas, John Chomby and Jimmy Dykes, as David DeJulius knocking down that 2. I guess foot was somewhere right on the edge of the line.
Yeah, DeJulius is just trailing the play as a shooter, and you've got to know where you are. I mean, could be a very costly 1 point in the last minute of this ball game. Xavier Simpson so far, 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Prentice Nixon jumper, that's a 3. And a Colorado State transfer knocking it down.
You know, coaches know how they shoot the ball in practice. You look at the number of attempts for a guy like Prentice Nixon with 20 coming in. Just a matter of time till that thing starts dropping at a better than a 20% rate.
First 3 of the game for Iowa State, almost a turnover. Castleton inside, left hand is good.
That's what he can do. He's much better as a face-up 4/5 than he is on the low block right now. Just ripped that ball through low, stayed low all the way through the play. Careful now.
Corner 3 from Nixon, missed everything. DeJulius up ahead. Nunez in and out. Livers had it for a second, and now it's Halliburton. Halliburton spinning, flips it up and in. That is gorgeous.
Hey now. 6'5", long and smooth. An unblockable shot in transition by Halliburton where his release point is. That was outstanding.
Michigan by 2. Castleton will try. That's short. And the Cyclones track down the board. Rasir Bolton. Little jump hook. That'll go for Solomon Young.
Just going right at Colin Castleton on the low block is Iowa State. The first side of the floor, off a transition, clear the floor out, one-on-one on the low block, and Solomon Young says, thank you very much, I will go right through your chin. How about Iowa State, the play by Tyrese Halliburton? The long extension. Big guards that finish with a high release, very difficult to defend. Hard to guard. 22, Tyrese Halliburton.
Nice day to hit the lazy river back here in Atlantis from the Bahamas. Paradise Island. College basketball coming your way. The battle for Atlantis. And inside the Imperial Ballroom, Michigan and Iowa State locked up in a good one. Xavier Simpson sits for the first time. And how about last night? Duke goes down.
That's what they're talking about in the lazy river right now, by the way. Stephen F. Austin, my guy Kyle Keller, goes into Cameron Indoor and comes away with an overtime win. Nathan Bain with a game winner who's from the Bahamas. And that does not surprise any of us that have ever been to a Stephen F. Austin practice. They get on the bus and ain't no cowards allowed. They went right at Duke. They spread the floor. They drove them. They were the tougher team. That's a pack dog mentality that Stephen F. Austin plays with. And well, I'm so happy for my guy Kyle Keller and Stephen F. Austin last night.
Travel and a turnover on Iowa State, so it'll go the other way with Michigan up 2. So a shocker in the early season. I mean, certainly akin to Evansville going into Kentucky and beating the Wildcats.
You know, back in 1983, we had 7 different #1 teams during the season. I think we'll go beyond that this year. We're already going to be working on number 4 next week, most likely Louisville. Stephen F. Austin made 36 two-point shots last night. It's another remarkable stat within the stat. Boy, can this kid pass.
Out of bounds. Jamie Lucky's going to go over and say to Todd Austin, I think it's Michigan basketball.
I don't know. Jamie Lucky was behind the play, and Todd Austin was on the baseline. And I thought Todd Austin had the better look at it. Right there, that's off. No, Todd Austin had the right call. Am I wrong? Can I see it again?
I want to see that one more time. Who did that go off of? I feel like it went...
It goes off of Iowa State right there. Jacobson hits it.
Yeah.
And then he hits it again. And then no one else hits it again. Did it?
Iowa State basketball, so they did not get...
Nice curl.
Halliburton, great look at it. Just couldn't knock it down. Michigan by 2, and Davis cuts to the rim. The senior, big country as he's called, with the bucket.
And the floor just completely opened up for Big Country.
Young, top of the key, got it. Solomon Young
continuing to attack that drop coverage that Juwan Howard's sticking with his ball screen defender. The 5 guys setting the ball screen. His defender is lagging back and allowing open 17-footers.
Eli Brooks from way downtown. And Iowa State with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. Good hands there as Brooks takes it away.
A stare down pass by Halliburton.
And now it's Trey Jackson. Jackson leaves for Halliburton. He'll try a 3. And Iowa State has the lead. Tyrese Halliburton with the triple.
It is an awkward release. And he has to be open. He has to be wide open to get it off. Does not make challenge threes, but that slow set shot, it finds a way to go in at key times.
7 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for Tyrese Halliburton.
Well, Iowa State making it very difficult to reverse the ball side to side with their down coverage.
And the foul on Trey Jackson.
Luke, watch Tyrese Halliburton. It's a 6'5" kid with a nice ball fake. Now you're wide open. You have to stick this shot if you have any chance of being a long-term pro. It's not a great release. A little bit of an awkward release. The ball, for me, the shot hands on the side of the ball a little bit too much. But he works at it, continues. Just get 33, 34%. Man, that does a lot for his game.
I would also say this. I think one of the things that you've seen the college game follow the NBA game on is these kids are shooting from beyond the line. I think that the college line being moved back is going to be close to a non-factor because we've already seen these kids mirror what they're doing in the NBA. I mean, he had room and didn't move up closer to the line. You're seeing kids of the college game more than comfortable taking 23, 24-footers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think we're going to have near the impact that we wanted by moving that line back. And the big he makes big baskets is what he does.
All right, tonight on ESPN, catch an NBA doubleheader. First, 7 Eastern, the Nets and the Celtics. Celtics off to a great start. Speaking of great starts, the Lakers will take on the Pelicans. NBA Wednesday at 7 and 9:30 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Anthony Davis back to New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the reception is not going to be overly kind, but I mean, there he is, the impact that he made on that franchise.
Well, a tremendous player. And at his first practice as a college guy, and just jumps out at you when he walks in the gym, a love for the game. And that's what you want in any level, Boog. Put 5 dudes on the floor that love ball. Those guys win games. Put 5 dudes on the floor that love ball as a coach, and you're going to win more than you're going to lose. And that guy right there loves ball, Xavier Simpson. And turnover problems so far this first half for number 3. 4 so far.
There's Wagner back in. You see the tape on his right wrist. Fractured his right wrist in practice October 20th. Had a hard cast on for about 3 weeks. 3, and it's good. And Wagner, his second triple of the game.
What a pass by Simpson to pass below the defense. Again, you play low in basketball. You don't stand up. You don't relax. To see the play below the defense, outstanding by Xavier Simpson.
Nixon tries to answer with a 3 of his own. Rebound pulled down by Brandon Johns Jr.
That will not grade out as the type of 3 that we want from Steve Prohm.
That one off the rim, good hands. Iowa State the other way.
2 bad passes within 5 seconds by Brandon Johns. Battle for Atlantis record so far.
Halliburton inside, Condit the rebound. And a foul inside on Michigan. Got a good one here in the early going, our first of 4 here on the day. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in for Black Friday deals. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. And Atlantis Paradise Island, Bahamas at heart.
Seth, I'm with you. And pro scouts I talked to before the game, their eyes are on this kid because you put him on an NBA floor with shooters and the floor really opens up. Boog, this is a guy he's a legit 6'5". He's got great vision. He's got terrific speed. The only thing lacking is that three-point shot. He can make plays off of ball screens. He sees the pass one step ahead. He is a first-round guy waiting to happen. I'm with Coach on that one. I'm not always with Coach. But I'm with him on this one. Nah, Seth and I, we think the game alike, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but we do.
Simpson gets bumped as he goes to the rim, and he'll shoot 2. And they get that foul on Jacobson. Tyrese Halliburton, they're saying right now mock drafts have him 20th in that general range.
I think he has the potential to climb up because you live in the weeds as an NBA scout. I did it for 3 years, and the quick question that will be answered, he's only been playing the spot full-time 1 year.
Yeah.
So the game is still so much new to him in the growth area. And Cole Anthony will be picked in the top 2 or 3. He's a phenomenal kid, phenomenal talent. He's outstanding, and he knows he's outstanding. How do you guard his moxie is what we'll be talking about in the next game. But Tyrese Halliburton as a long-term pro is certainly in the cards. Zone by Michigan against a team that has not shot the ball well from three.
Feed inside, Jacobson with a fake against Davis. Jacobson step back short, flying in. Halliburton and Condit got it blocked. Michigan the other way.
Was that Big Country again, recovering to the ball? Teske in foul trouble, the bruiser now.
Teske with a couple of early fouls, and so with the senior center sitting, Austin Davis getting some minutes for Michigan. Johns from the left side. Jacobson rebounds.
Good job, though, by Xavier Simpson to keep the ball in the middle third of the floor. He could go either side in late clock situations.
Halliburton left his feet and turned it over. Simpson inside. Contact and one.
Now, just a bad play by Tyrese Halliburton. Takes the ball baseline, leaves his feet with no idea what he really is going to do with it. And Xavier Simpson with the sixth grade layup on the other end with a little bit of contact. Love this kid's demeanor, his fight. Told him before the ball game, you could play for Stephen F. Austin because of how you play the game and the toughness you play with. Not a lot of contact. Was there? Did you see it?
There was contact. I just feel like, look, either go after him hard physically and try and block the shot.
Away. Yeah.
Like, either do it or don't do it.
Yeah, that was, I'm not sure what to do here, and that gets you beat.
It's hard to not foul once you get up in the air.
Yeah,
and that's sort of what he was trying to do.
Yep.
Simpson can't complete the three-point play, but after a shaky start with 3 early turnovers, Xavier Simpson playing a nice first half.
Juan goes back to his man-to-man. The zone was pretty good. You know, it's a 27% three-point team on the year. If you're going to throw a zone now.
Xavier Simpson, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists for Michigan here. And the Wolverines have built a 6-point advantage. Under 2 to go here first half. John Shambi and Timmy Likes.
I knew he was going to make the broadcast.
Yeah.
I felt like it might be in the second half.
Well,
it's appropriately named by Mason Schulz, our assistant producer, week long here.
Chris Spatola participating as well.
Yeah, well, Chris Spatola needs to get out of the lazy river and get ready for that matchup tonight between Seton Hall and Oregon. My gosh, what a first-round matchup. 2 teams that I think could very well end up in that Final Four.
From the left side, in and out, rebound Davis as Brooks not able to hit.
Austin Davis.
Giving him good minutes.
He's played in 1 game in 7 minutes so far. He's come in this game and been effective, throwing his body around, banging people, being active.
Halliburton weaves through traffic and puts it in. Iowa State within 4.
And Boog, Austin Davis is gassed. He's played more in this game than he has so far this season. His big body, though, has been a factor. Tyrese Halliburton in the open floor is a problem.
A minute to go here in the first half. Livers to the bucket. Halliburton goes to intercept the pass, and Tyrese Halliburton is charged with the foul. And that is Halliburton's first.
How would you like to replace John Beilein? I'm going to ask you this. In the last 6 or 7 years in college ball, name 3 coaches better than John Beilein.
No, I don't think you can.
You don't think you can?
No.
No, maybe as good, but better? When you throw the word better than John Beilein, and that's what Juwan Howard has stepped into, and boy, he's handled it magically. And his command of his team, how he teaches, the tone of his voice, so impressive.
He had to re-recruit guys that were already in the program as well. When you're talking about Cole Bajema and Franz Wagner, who were recruits, he had to re-recruit them. They elected to stay. But Michigan, the NCAA tournament 8 times the last 9 years under Coach Beilein. Of course, that championship game. 12 seasons for Beilein, and then it's on to the NBA. 3 wouldn't go. Rebound pulled down by the smallest guy in the court, Xavier Simpson.
Good job to not reward Halliburton with falling down on the missed shot and playing it on by the officials. Jamie Lucky, Bert Smith, Todd Austin having no part of it.
41-35. 29.7 on the game clock, 24 on the shot clock. First of four still to come, North Carolina and Alabama to follow.
It'll be flex cut, and it's a moving screen by Davis. Absolutely right. Michigan goes to their flex cut action on their baseline out of bounds under. And on the second screen within the flex action, Davis gets called, and now Iowa State with a chance to close this half out. And you want to take this last shot if you're Iowa State. I do, with enough time for an offensive rebound putback, but not so soon that Michigan throws in a momentum 2 or 3 on you at the half. I'm just keeping it in Halliburton's hands right now. Why risk giving it up and then denying him and he can't get it back? Keep it in his hands, choke the clock down, and let him make a play to end the half. Going to go with double up action out of a horn set and let Halliburton work off of it. Jacobson is a pop threat off of it as well.
Solomon setting the screen. Solomon
well
Young and a bucket there.
Good job of Halliburton not giving it up initially and risking not getting it back to perfection by Steve Prohm and his 6'5" point guard. And to
Halliburton,
to
nice
Seth's
finish.
Point, that's the type of play that NBA scouts see right there. That's how you close out a half off of a ball screen.
41-37 at the break. I know that guy. I know that girl.
That's Kennedy Dykes.
The Easy River. We go to Kevin Cotter, Seth Greenberg in the studio for halftime. Feast Week presented by Lowe's. Well, back here in the Bahamas at the break, Michigan, our first game of the day, leading Iowa State 41-37. And welcome back to the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis. Courtside, John Shambi and Jimmy Dykes. Good first half, fun to watch. Guards were the story, huh?
Yeah, they were, and we expected that with two outstanding point guards in Xavier Simpson and Tyrese Halliburton. Let's take a look at our first half hats brought to you by Atlantis. And as you see right there, this thing's been back and forth, Boog, for the first 20 minutes. The concerning thing for me is Michigan only 28 shots in the game. That's because they've turned it over 11 times. They're shooting a high percentage. Take care of the ball would certainly help them in the second 20 minutes. Xavier Simpson and Tyrese, they both touched the game in so many areas. Little out of character for Xavier Simpson to have the 4 turnovers in the first 20 minutes.
And the other part of the game, from a Michigan standpoint, the fact that John Teske got those early fouls, so the Michigan big sat for a good chunk of that first half. In fact, he only played just a shade over 4 minutes in that first half.
And you look at Tyrese Halliburton, played all 20 minutes. Xavier Simpson went a little bit over 15. So John Teske back on the floor, and does Juwan Howard, who is a big guy coach, try to establish John Teske early in this second 20 minutes. Remember, in the first half, the first touch on the block, they doubled the ball out of Teske's hand. We'll see what Iowa State does defensively.
Solomon Young gives off Halliburton. Halliburton feed inside to Young, who spins, flips it up, may have gotten it blocked and will go the other way. Michigan with the basketball up by 4.
Great pass, a horse trick shot finish attempt by Solomon Young. Normally doesn't work in a high caliber game.
Toss inside. Teske gets hammered.
You know, the very first possession of Juwan Howard's coaching career at Michigan was a box set low post touch for John Teske in their first game. He sees the game as a head coach through his big guy's eyes, and you saw the very first possession in this half, a set play back screen for a post up for 15.
Fouls on Solomon Young. That is his second as they get it into Wagner, and Michigan sets it up. Teske got it.
Well, so Iowa State, they're downing the ball screen action, they're icing it, and they just slip the shooter out of it, Teske, to the 15-foot spot.
Halliburton using the screen, weaves inside, and now back out. Iowa State not a very good three-point shooting team. First half shot 2 for 10 from 3. Just inside the three-point line. Halliburton shot wouldn't go. Livers pushes ahead. Livers in space and rejected by Halliburton.
What a recovery by Tyrese Halliburton from behind.
The point guard racing all the way back to reject that shot.
On the recovery speed by Tyrese Halliburton, as good as you can find. Michigan with that same drop coverage, going right at Teske right now.
Bolton high off the glass, and they get a foul inside, and that'll be on Michael Jacobson, I believe.
Really good defense by Teske on the other end. Look at this right here. Watch Tyrese Halliburton from behind the play to chase it down and get ball up top. He trailed the play the entire length of the floor till the very end. And that long reach, again, this is a 6'5", long, lanky point guard showing up in this game.
Yeah, he is different.
Yeah, he's different. That's a great call. And NBA scouts like different.
Yep. Livers to Teske. Livers will try and gets it to go. That's a three.
You know, that was a very good pass by Eli Brooks because he threw it where Livers needed to be. He didn't throw it to Livers. He threw it where Livers was going to get the shot and where he was going to. A high IQ pass by Eli Brooks.
Livers with 8. Prentice Nixon gets inside, flips that up, but he's fouled.
So they're not on the other ball screen situations involving anyone other than Teske. They're switching, they're hedging, they're not dropping. So that time it was a 4-on-1 ball screen set and allowed the drive by Nixon to get to the rim. That makes sense? So
yeah,
Michigan defensively, their 5 guy, which is Teske. When he comes up to cover a ball screen, that's him. They're dropping him back, and he's just protecting the lane and moving his feet. Any other ball screen action, they're not playing it like that. And Iowa State now has to understand when we can attack and when we can't in terms of that drop coverage.
And early on, what Iowa State was doing is Teske would drop and Solomon would stay at the free throw line or back and shoot the jump.
Absolutely.
Just getting started here, second half. John Shambi, Jimmy Dykes. First of 4 on the day. The battle for Atlantis. Brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. Simpson lost his footing. Jacobson comes up with it. Going up against Wagner. Inside. Shot rejected. The Cyclones bench wants the basket to count plus the foul. Bert Smith in the call. Jamie Luckey said, nope, the basket will not count. Had a little chat with Steve Prohm.
Good job by Jamie Luckey as the trail official. The lead official is going to make the call, and so he needs help on the goaltending call that Jamie Luckey's trailing the play and right on top of.
That foul, by the way, on Wagner, that's his 3rd. And here's Jacobson at the line. Well, Michael Jacobson, the senior who is in his 2nd year at Iowa State, but transferred from Nebraska. Jimmy, when you look at this Iowa State program, the success that they've had, NCAA tournament 7 times in 8 years, look at this list. All Big 12 guys who have been transfers, guys like Royce White, Abdel Nader, DeAndre Kane, Mariel Shayok, Deontay Burton. I mean, a lot of really good players coming from other programs. They've been at the forefront of utilizing transfers to sustain the program.
Book they have, and going back to Fred Hoiberg and now Steve Prohm, it's identifying the right guy that you're bringing in from another system and making sure you're not bringing in another problem. And not all transfers are problems, but you better have a heart-to-heart, very thorough discussion about do you fit who we are. And Michigan and Gonzaga, who we'll see later on today, they've been outstanding at identifying the right type of guys.
Livers hits the triple at the other end, and now the foul will go the other way. And it's a 10-point advantage for Michigan.
Feels like a danger time as Nixon's going to get back screen, boom, right there by Teske. A dangerous time for Iowa State if they can't get a stop right here.
Teske a 3. Yep. Got it, and it's 13 points. The lead for Michigan.
You asked me what's going to happen in the second half. I said John Teske is going to come back on the floor. They're going to throw him the ball, and he's going to start making plays. So far, so good.
A 6-0 Michigan run. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in for Black Friday deals. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. And Atlanta's Paradise Island, Bahamas at heart.
Steve-O, my man, Jon Teske from Michigan, 7'1", 250 pounds, but he's got tremendous speed on that low block. I'm not sure he has speed as good as you, though. Let me see your footwork. Oh, that's outstanding, Sebastian. That's outstanding. You would be hard to handle on the block. That's my boy. Good feet, good feet, good feet. Well done, well done. Yeah. Good. Swing. And all is right with the world again. And Jon Teske, only his second three-point shot made this year, but he has outstanding feet. This guy can make 15-footers. He can make plays off the elbows. He can cover you up defensively. I'm not sure whose footwork is better, Sebastian's or my man Jon Teske, but this guy changes the game when he's on the floor. They survived the first half without him, and now they're extending the lead with him.
13-point Michigan advantage. John Shambi, Jimmy Dykes from the Bahamas. And somewhere Sebastian, Jimmy's close friend.
Sebastian has put on about 50 pounds, I believe, since last year when I saw him.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's getting closer to 500 pounds.
Wow. So he's got Teske by about 235.
Yeah, Sebastian has not bought into my gluten-free diet. There you go.
Solomon Young. Yeah, mid-range jumper has been working for him.
Boog, you have to move Teske away from the rim and pull him away defensively. Make a shot over him. Then maybe he crowds and you go around him.
Wagner.
Well done.
Nixon steps in the passing lane. Lays it up. Wouldn't go. And then a foul at Iowa State as Brooks hit the floor. They get the foul on Prentice Nixon. Oh, one more hello to our man Sebastian. It's a sea lion, not a seal.
Don't call me a seal. Them there's fighting words.
Back here in the Bahamas and our battle for Atlantis bracket. Michigan, Iowa State right here, our first of four. It'll be Cole Anthony in North Carolina against Alabama to follow 2:30 Eastern. Coming up tonight, number 8 Gonzaga in action against Southern Miss. And then a really good matchup between number 13 Seton Hall, number 11 Oregon. I mean, you got, I'd say, 5 teams, maybe 6 that could get into the NCAA tournament this year.
I'm with you. We're watching 2 of them right now. I think Iowa State will end up an NCAA tournament team. I'm not so sure Michigan is not the best team in the Big Ten from what I've seen in that league. And Miles Powell, if you have not seen him from Seton Hall, has made a strong case for National Player of the Year so far. That is a bucket-getting dude on a team with a bunch of dudes. When they step on the floor, they look different than anyone else in Atlantis. We'll see if that holds up when the games begin. But Seton Hall is the real deal.
They just got that foul on Teske. That is his 3rd. And we'll see what Juwan Howard does. And it looks like, well, it'll be Franz Wagner to sit. So both Wagner and Teske each have 3 fouls.
As important as Teske is to Michigan, if you're Iowa State, I waste, and I say waste, a couple of possessions to try to isolate Teske and see if you can get his 4th. You can get back in the game if the call goes your way. Face up, driving.
Solomon Young inside, left hand, nice move, just wouldn't go.
Great defense by Teske to play with 3 fouls, keep his feet alive, and keep Solomon Young from getting an angle.
Jumper from DeJulius, and he nails a 3.
Boogie, they have made 17 out of their last 24 shots, Michigan. This is a real club now. They've got all the pieces.
And they did get number 4 on Teske.
Great job by Steve Prohm. Back-to-back possessions like I asked for to see if he can get a favorable whistle. The first time it didn't work. Jon Teske does a good job of staying low at 7-1, keeping his feet alive. The next possession, it doesn't pay off, but offense on the other side, triggered by Xavier Simpson. A quick one-handed passer off the bounce. Now the game could change. It changed in the first half when Teske sat down. Will it change right now with 14 and change to go?
And how long does he sit? 14-point Michigan advantage. Iowa State basketball. Halliburton to inbound. Quarterfinal number 1 here from the Imperial Ballroom.
The hole, Bert Smith right on top of it.
Bert Smith, I think, was it on, Isaiah Livers.
Yeah, just off the circle action, and Livers just reached out and grabbed him.
Halliburton looking for some help. Man, and able to get it in.
Another 4 inches shorter.
Yeah.
That ball's going the other way.
Nixon crossing over, step back, jumper, that rolls home. Prentice Nixon.
Steve Prohm opens the floor, takes away any of that drop coverage, doesn't use a ball screen, spreads the floor, make a play, and now there's game pressure a little bit back on Michigan.
Simpson going to work.
And the Cyclones get back-to-back stops and back-to-back makes.
Livers jumper. And it'll stay with Michigan. Good work by Colin Castleton.
Yeah, I'm not sure Iowa State, when they watch the film on that one, the shot was taken. I don't think they hit first and then chased the ball. I think they just chased the ball and forgot the hit part of a defensive rebounder responsibilities.
Oh, getting loose inside is Brooks. And Steve Prohm saying to Todd Austin, that was not a foul. They got Caleb Grill on that.
A good job by Livers, Boog, to just break off the play. And Caleb Grill was going one way, and Livers read it and just slipped to the backside.
I don't know about that.
Not a lot. Well, not a lot there. Not a lot there.
Eli Brooks, the junior from Spring Grove, Pennsylvania, out there in the Harrisburg area. I think it was Prentice Nixon. There's a little blood there, so they had to cover that up. There's Troy Williams waiting for a chance to pick up another win.
If he stays on that phone another 30 seconds, he'll get a text, hey, you're on camera.
That's right.
He still loves the game, man, loves coaching, loves the practice, has the energy, 69 years of age. No sign of stopping Roy Williams. You know, things I've noticed in Atlantis, I'll throw one at you.
Yeah.
The longest line in Atlantis is not at the Challenger or any of those rides. It's at Ben and Jerry's. Every night, Ben and Jerry's. And that's worth the wait, but it's a good 20 minutes.
You got to get there. Yeah, here we are. We've had some ice cream. That's right. John Shambi and Jimmy Dykes, and it's been fun so far, partner.
You know, the other thing I've noticed, if you have a boat big enough to have a boat on your boat, you own a big boat. And there's a bunch of them over there about 200 yards from us. If your boat is big enough to have a boat on your boat, you're doing really well in life. I've noticed that since I've been here.
Yeah, no question. A boat on top of a boat.
Yes. You got a big boat if that's happening.
I'll one-up you and say helicopter on your boat.
That's even better. Watch out.
Look out.
Oh, my.
Simpson, I thought, was coming right into our living room.
Got a ball.
And that's a big three there from Prentice Nixon. And Iowa State within 11 as Nixon hits his second three.
The Cyclones desperately need three-point shooting. They're a small club. They're going to need it all season long.
Livers tries to answer. That doesn't hit. And it's Iowa State ball.
That was too quick. 11-point lead, probably 20 on the shot clock, and on the first pass to the first side of the floor, Livers jumps up and takes one. Now they're a 40% three-point shooting club. I get it. But time, score, and momentum. Time, score, and momentum dictates what's a good shot and what is not.
I have to suspect that Iowa State will end up a pretty good shooting team because most years they are. Inside Halliburton, and that's a deuce.
They put Halliburton, Boog, sometimes on that baseline as a baseline runner. He can really operate well around the rim and from those short corners and in.
And those short shorts on Tyrese Halliburton.
Has he been like that all game?
Yeah, he has. Inside, and Simpson, smallest guy out there with the bucket.
He is a tenacious bulldog, is Xavier Simpson. Michigan with the zone up top, and it gets split. Good hands.
It'll stay with Iowa State. 23 on the shot clock. 11-point Michigan lead. Xavier Simpson, the senior from Lima, Ohio. There are those short shorts. Steve Prohm was lamenting Xavier Simpson and how hard he tried to recruit him, and told us the story that Iowa State went after Xavier Simpson big time, and then right after Michigan State got Cassius Winston and Michigan wasn't able to get Winston, it was then that Simpson signed with Michigan and broke Iowa State's heart.
Yeah, just one phone call and a quick boom. I'm heading to play for the Blue and Maize. And boy, there's not a coach in the country that would not take Xavier Simpson right now. I've heard people toss around, this is a guy that's best leader in college ball. There's not a better leader than Xavier Simpson from Michigan.
Loose ball, and eventually Halliburton able to collect it.
Nice.
Nixon.
Boy, the ones you got to make, Boog. You find the backside of the play in transition, a wide open three, and Steve Prohm's guys are desperate to knock it down for distance.
Lenny Forey, Marketing Director for Bad Boy Mowers. We are so proud to be the title sponsor for the #1 preseason NCAA basketball tournament on the planet, the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis. The 8 teams competing this year are some of the top programs in the nation. The last 2 Bad Boy Battle champions went on to win the national championship. And it all happens at the amazing Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, right here on ESPN.
Can't beat it. Back inside the Imperial Ballroom. Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis. That's right. Could we be crowning another national champion? Virginia last year, Villanova last year. Xavier Simpson on the bench, and take a look at what happened here.
Yeah, he goes kind of awkwardly into that table, and then in the break, they're stretching out that hip area. It wasn't a cramp. He kept pointing to his hip like he had banged it or tweaked it a little bit. Just something to keep an eye on, because that dude already's got 9 assists in this ball game. He does have 5 turnovers, but his 9 assists is kind of controlling the offense, as he always does.
He'll come back in. Simpson has played the bulk of this game.
I would not be shocked at all if this year's national champion is not here in Atlantis. I can make a case right now for Gonzaga. I can make one for Oregon. I can make one for Seton Hall. I can make one for Coach Vitale talking to Roy Williams' squad at North Carolina. You don't have to be great this year to win it. Got to be healthy and playing really well at the right time. And Michigan, this is a team, I'm telling you, they may win this game, they may not. Michigan's got a lot of pieces, and as you mentioned earlier, the last 2 national champions, they won this event here.
Yeah, Villanova 2017, Jay Wright's team hoisted the trophy, and then last year, Tony Bennett and the Cavaliers beat Wisconsin in the championship game, and then were able to get past all comers. A Final 8 run in terms of some serious, like, heart stoppers, as they were able to win the national title for the first time. Juwan Howard in his first season as head coach of Michigan. Got some experience on his staff. Phil Martelli, former St. Joe's head coach.
And if November is any indication of what that NCAA tournament's going to look like, it is wide open. 30 teams, somewhere in that range, could win this whole thing if they are hot, if they're healthy, and they're hungry at the right time come March.
We've seen some guys slipping on the court. Todd Austin and Jamie Luckey just asked the gentleman to come out and just make sure it's nice and dry out there. And Juwan Howard, yeah, that's right.
How about this guy?
Head coach doing some of the work.
When's the last time we saw that? When's the last time we saw any head coach, but a Power 5 head coach say, give me the dadgum towel and let me wipe it up myself? That's kind of the message I think he was sending. You agree?
Well, it stopped me. I live in New York City. I don't get a lot of dadgum in my life, so I needed a moment. And now I've recovered, and we're good. 9-point game.
I love that about Juwan Howard. I mean, he cleaned that up with passion.
Clean up.
We're still not done. We're still not done.
Clean up aisle 4. Aisle 4.
I think Juwan Howard knows this is a very important offensive possession for his guys.
Peas are 2 for 1 this week. Sorry.
Frozen or fresh?
Well, either way. It is Thanksgiving. All right, so they're going to work hard and make sure that the court is dry and playable.
23 on the clock. Juwan Howard sees the game as a big guy. And big guys, when the game gets into we need a bucket, they want the ball on the block. Maybe on the move on the block. But don't be surprised if Juwan Howard doesn't have something to get this ball near the rim early. Now we got clocks off at the other end.
The other end, the clock is...
We got moisture issues on one end, electrical issues on the other. If I'm Steve Prohm, I bring my guys over. Yeah, that's a good job.
Come on down. Bert Smith is going to go see what the deal is.
Everything plugged in. Did we step? There we go. Twist that one, pull that one. Yeah. I would pull it out and push it back in if I was down there.
That's your technical advice.
That works for my stuff back home. Just pull it out and shove it back in. And just remind you what you're supposed to be doing.
There's nothing better than being on a plane when they tell you that we're going to be delayed because we're having computer issues, and then what they tell you is that they just turned it off and on, and you're sitting there in the passenger seat saying, well, that's what I would have done.
Is this while you're in air this happens to you?
I mean,
or just before you leave the gate?
Well, I'm saying when you're sitting there at the gate and they say, we're in a little bit of a delay. So right now they're trying to figure out how to turn the clock on. John Shambi, Jimmy Dykes, and Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving, of course, tomorrow. Today, the first of a busy slate of college basketball here in the Bahamas. It's a difficult assignment, but we're battling through. And here at Atlantis, the first of 4 on the day. The last game of the day is the one that I'm interested in. I mean, I'm interested in all of them, but the one at the end of the day between Oregon and Seton Hall should be fun.
That feels like, just watching them yesterday for a couple hours in practice, 2 teams that are preparing for the winner goes to the Final Four. They're that good. Yeah. This is the real deal this year in Atlantis. This is the most loaded field that we have during Feast Week. That game later tonight, 9:30 Eastern, between Seton Hall and Oregon. Oregon's changing defenses. Anthony Mathis can flat out stroke it. Peyton Pritchard, as good of a college point guard that we have. He started on a Final Four team a couple of years ago. Miles Powell is just an old-fashioned bucket getter. And I had a great visit with him yesterday, sitting in the ocean, and just such a kind-spirited guy. But when he steps between the lines, it is on. And we know Gonzaga, Mark Few, and anxious to see Killian Tilly. And there's Roll Tide waiting backstage with the Tar Heels warming up somewhere else here in the casino area, and just a monster field. The winner of this one is going to have to earn it. There'll be nothing given at all.
And there are the Tar Heels. Warm it up on the carpet as we continue to attend to our technical issues. And North Carolina ranked number 6. They have the number 2 recruit in the country
right there
in freshman Cole Anthony. There he is, son of former UNLV legend Greg Anthony.
Boog, he's the real deal, and he can shoot it from deep. He's a monster in transition and very skilled off of ball screens. Not a lot of point guards at his age are really excellent in both areas. He's got a little finesse to him off of ball screens. He's a power driver. He got all the awards and all the postseason McDonald's and Nike hoops and all those things. He played in the Jordan Brand games at 6'3", power guard. He's been here 9 times, he told me yesterday.
Yeah.
Come here on as he's growing up on family vacations. But you know what? I said in the first half, he's really good, and he knows he's really good. Yeah. I've got no problem with that. As good as he is, you're guarding his swagger and his moxie, I think, as much as anything.
34 points in his college debut. Cole Anthony, a guy, he's got a little more polish to him as well. Interactions with him for an 18-year-old, it's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. He's a grown man.
Yeah.
And as high profile as he is, his teammates love him. And I said earlier, I think in the first half, find 5 guys that love ball. He loves ball. And you're always going to end up somewhere in life between your goals and your work ethic. And they match with him. He wants to be the best player to ever play that position, and he works at it every day. He loves the hard parts of ball. And those kind of guys they're hard to find. They win you a bunch of games.
By the way, Roy Williams, sneakers, I don't think anybody's going to be rocking better sneakers than what Roy Williams is sporting today. Oh, those are sweet.
Those are sweet.
Coach, there's a reason you're a Hall of Famer. Gentlemen, no sneakers. I like it.
Kind enough to sign autographs while he's scouting, because one of these 2 teams will be facing tomorrow.
So Alabama and North Carolina still to come. Finally got the clock going at the other end. Michigan 9-point advantage with the basketball. Simpson. Shot clock under 10.
You got him trapped. You let him out of the trap, and look out. Wow.
And then the lob to Brandon Johns Jr. He got out of the trap.
Yes, you had Simpson done, man. You iced him. You trapped him. You let the trap open up, and Simpson makes a huge play, Boog. A huge play.
A double-double for Xavier Simpson. His 10th career 10-assist game.
This should be a 9-point game with Iowa State a chance to cut it to 6 or 7.
Condit couldn't get it to go. Tyrese Halliburton's been quiet in the second half. Has only 2 points. He had 11 at the break as we close in on the 10-minute mark.
That was the play of the game so far. 9-point lead, short clock, and Xavier Simpson just saw it and went and got it.
Castleton off the window, plus the foul.
And
it'll go to the line.
All starts again with our guy, Xavier Simpson. The last 2 possessions, Xavier Simpson with no back down right here. You got him. He's iced. There's 8 on the shot clock, and you let him come out of it. And there's Livers flying, or Brandon Johns flying in from the long dunker spot. Castleton with enough strength to go through the 175 pounds of Tyrese Halliburton.
Xavier Simpson, a guy that continues to climb the all-time assist board in Michigan history. All-time leader is Gary Grant at number 1. He's not going to catch Gary, but Halliburton from way downtown, and his 3-pointer makes it a 10-point game.
He's got that knack to knock down shots at key times. 29% from 3 overall, probably 40% from 3 when they have to have one. It's the kind of guy he is.
Johns inside, wouldn't go. Tip is good, and Castleton making his presence felt.
Yeah, Michigan just playing muscle ball now with the mismatches on the inside. Reverse the ball, reverse the ball. Michigan's not, I don't think they're sure what they're in. 2 guys are pointing. Xavier's finally getting straightened out.
Halliburton to Nixon. Shot clock winding down. Do they see it? Prentice Nixon. Deep 3. And a rebound for Simpson. Michigan the other way, up by a dozen.
Iowa State messed around with that possession the first 8-10 seconds. Really cost them.
Livers inside. Hangs. Looked like he was fouled. Out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wolverines.
It looked like he was fouled by Caleb Grill, and it should have been a charge drawn by Grill. And Grill was there and went up, and lucky he didn't get called for a foul. Number 2 right, slide over, boom, take the charge, and he reaches, and that's a foul. Boo. A foul that did not get called.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way to put it. Deflex action off that baseline out of bounds under. Beat it over the top. Well done by Iowa State.
Nasty handle from Simpson, hesitating. Shot clock winding down.
Gosh.
Simpson looking for some space.
Oh,
And it ends up with a turnover. And Bolton now. Bolton inside. Flips it up. Wouldn't go. Johns with the rebound. And the other way. And a technical on Steve Prohm. Bert Smith teeing up Prohm.
and Steve felt his guy got hit in the transition play.
A lot of Iowa State fans here. They always travel well. Hilton Coliseum, Hilton Magic as they call it. Impressive place to go see a college game. One of the best venues out there. Here's Livers now. This is the first.
Well, it's go time now for Iowa State. And Steve Prohm knows it. And will this technical foul be the energy injection into his team? Down 13, you've taken a tee as a head coach. Pretty sure he knew what he was doing. And now they're back to that. Can you get back-to-back stops and back-to-back makes and put game pressure back on Michigan with 8 minutes to go?
You coach, did you actually ever get one on purpose?
One time. Yeah, one time I did. We were at Baylor in the NCAA tournament, down 29 going into the half, and I got one walking off the half to go down 31. Didn't work out quite like I had planned, but that's the one that I got intentional. Kim Mulkey kicked my butt and kept kicking it.
I love it.
Oh, man. But back to this.
We need to chip away at that 29-point lead. I'm going to get a tee here. Time out of the court.
It felt right at the time.
I'm sure it did.
You know, when you and I are going to go write some slides or something.
I'm in.
Go see my guy Sebastian. Sebastian, we'll be there in about 3 hours.
Me and Timmy Likes will get there.
Lay off the bread, Sebastian.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. Builds a better mower. Mow with an attitude at Atlantis, Paradise Island, Bahamas at heart. Back here in Atlantis, Bahamas, Paradise. That's right. Got Dolphins, got basketball, and some really good mowers, by the way.
You know they're from Arkansas, Bad Boy Mowers?
Are they?
Those are my guys, yes. You need a mower, come see me.
The amount of people that have texted me, yo, can you, this is friends from home. Now,
okay.
I don't even know how to turn a mower on, but people, yo, can you get me a mower?
You don't mow in New York City?
I mean, I've turned on a mower maybe once. They need
turned on a mower.
I turned it on.
Issue. You start a mower.
Okay.
What kind of mower did you have?
I am not a mower expert. The guys, I am not a bad boy as it relates to mowers.
You've never done that.
No.
And then kick it. And then kick it and get it going again?
I mean, a couple of times dancing, I get it going.
That's a whole nother story. That's a problem.
The sprinkler?
The sprinkler?
Yeah.
You still do the sprinkler?
Well,
why?
I don't have a lot in my game.
Why? Why did you ever do it to start with?
All right, don't judge me. 13-point advantage for Michigan. John Shabby,
Nice
Jimmy Dykes, nice hands by Halliburton.
Yes,
Kick up ahead, here's Grill. Left hand, and one!
Yes, sir!
How about Caleb Grill, the freshman?
What a finish by Caleb Grill, a four-sport star out of Mays, Kansas, a high school quarterback, 6'2", and a 6'8" high jumper. State champion in Kansas. What a move and a big-time basket to keep Iowa State in this game. You're right, Boog. The play by Halliburton to respond to the backdoor cut with a long wingspan triggered the break. Iowa State hanging in this thing.
Yeah, Grill, really athletic player.
Yeah.
Originally committed to South Dakota State. The coaching changed, so reopened his recruitment and inked with the Cyclones, and he can shoot it too.
Yes, he can.
Goes down to 11-point game. We close in on the 7-minute mark.
Now the presses work because Steve Prohm has 15 seconds on the shot clock to defend.
Brandon Johns Jr. looking for some space. Gives off. DeJulius. Jumper inside the three-point line, and that'll go. Mid-range jumper for David DeJulius.
Can't leave your feet, man. You had a short clock, and Halliburton left his feet off of a ball fake and allowed a wide open, take up the slack defensive jump shot. Just a mistake by Halliburton.
Halliburton three. Gets it to go.
I don't know if there's anyone in the Big 12 right now that makes key shots like Halliburton. He's an average shooter that makes big shots. Probably the best way to describe him right now.
And he is stuffing the stat sheet today. 7 points, 5 assists to go along with those 19 points. Turnover, Grill hands off, and up ahead it's Rasir Bolton.
Took too long to reverse it to the third side of the floor in transition. Watch out.
Halliburton inside, long arms, and gets it to go.
You're just so good on the description, Boog. The long arm extension of 22 Halliburton. He has the ball in the middle third of the floor, so the help defense is taken away. No ball screen needed. Steve Prohm saying, go make a play.
A career-high 21 for the kid from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Boog going to his right by Halliburton, but the long extension. Watch Halliburton right here as he just pops out and kind of just an old school horse game set shot that cuts it to 10, and he comes right back, and the long extension over the outreached arms of a 6'10 Castleton, and game pressure right back on Iowa State onto Michigan.
Tyrese Halliburton expected to be one of the best players in the Big 12 this year. Iowa State trailing by 8, 6:03 to go. And again, a career-high 21. The Cyclones on a 9-2 run. And John Teske back in. He's got those 4 fouls. So Juwan Howard making that move.
Tyreke Halliburton. He talks 24/7. Tyrese Halliburton. He talks 24/7. An energy guy. He talked the entire time during that timeout. Steve Prohm was making his points. Tyrese Halliburton was making his own as well.
Tyrese Halliburton has that spirit, and he is loud.
You know Teske is involved in Juwan Howard's mind right now. Can you get him a look?
DeJulius, that's a 3. Got it. That's big.
That is huge, because I tell you what, Brazier Bolton just fought his butt off as a small defender against Teske. Did his job. Michigan had to have an answer from the corner.
Solomon Young, his shot was short. Had a big 2 possessions, the 3 and then the stop. And it's Michigan by 11. We close in on 5 to go. The first of 4 games here in the Bahamas. Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis. North Carolina and Alabama is next. DeJulius couldn't hit. Rebound for Nixon. Nixon trying to find Young, and Livers takes it away. Not a great choice there. DeJulius lost the handle for a moment. Halliburton tips it away. Tyrese Halliburton. 2 more. He's got 23.
This kid makes plays, doesn't he? When it looks like you're getting ready to, pound a nail into Iowa State, Halliburton says, not yet. Teske just can't get the touch that Juwan Howard wants in his mind, and Livers has answered both times when it's been taken away.
Isaiah Livers came in averaging 17 points. Smooth touch from the outside.
Michigan that 2-3 zone. Halliburton from deep.
That was a little beyond the range. Grill will try. That's short. Halliburton the rebound. Kicks out.
Halliburton went from 23 feet out on the floor to get the extra possession.
And Bolton sold the foul. Simpson got him. Brazier Bolton will shoot 3 when we return.
If Iowa State has any chance over the last 3:49 of this ball game, it's going to be Tyrese Halliburton continuing to make plays on both ends. The long wingspan as a 6'5 defender has kept them in it. Can this guy make shots? Don't bet against him.
Back here in the Bahamas, Michigan by 11. Sports Center tonight after Lakers and Pelicans. 80s return to New Orleans. Bucks and Lakers pushing their win streaks to 9. And the Falcons, they'll test defending the Saints' Michael Thomas. Sports Center after NBA on ESPN or the ESPN app. I like the Iowa State shirts. I've seen a number of those. Solid. And
how many cups does he have stacked up? I mean, has he drank through all those cups so far, and we're not even at 2 o'clock in the afternoon here? What are we doing?
Drank.
Drank. There's a country song like that. probably more than one.
Sure, only one of them.
How about Tyrese Halliburton today? Look at this guy. Is this just a cup collector on the island? That's a good look, man. That's a really good look. Former coach, things didn't go his way. We've all been there. We've all thought about being that guy. Tyrese Halliburton moved 23 points, career high. 9 rebounds, ties a career high.
Got 5 assists as well. 10-point game, 3:45 to go. Michigan with the basketball in this one, our first quarterfinal.
Going to screen the ball screener.
Livers size advantage on Bolton. Livers goes to work. Had it knocked out of his hands. Jacobson trying to come up with it. And they'll go possession arrow, and that's big. It stays with Michigan.
That possession
was the shot clock.
That was a mess because at the end of the clock, Juwan Howard had a 5 guy sending a screen on a 4, a 5-4 ball screen, and not at all what he wants. Now short clock, and for Iowa State, you have to have your body on a body right now. There can be no separation on a short clock, out of bounds under. If you're Iowa State, you have your forearm in your guy's chest, and you are physical on this out-of-bounds play. Do not allow separation.
I don't know what happened on the shot clock. I thought it was 4 on the shot clock. I guess not. So they reset.
Reset. Nice pass, huh? The pocket
Great
pass.
Look,
yeah.
and Teske with the dunk.
Wow, what a finish by Teske. He can catch it on the move as a 7'1", 265-pound guy. That sounds simple, but it's not at all.
And Simpson's so good at feeding him. Jacobson inside, left hand will go.
Just keep going at him. Teske's not going to foul right now. Well, you've got to get a stop if you're Iowa State. If you're Michigan, don't turn it over. Play through John Teske. You trust his hands. You trust him as a free throw shooter right now.
Under 2.5 to go. Wagner able to tip it to the corner, and Brooks. Teske a 3. That might have been the put-away shot if that had gone down.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know Halliburton wants to get one off. This is the time of game that he lives for.
Halliburton inside and one. And Wagner charged with the foul.
There's no surprise at all. Everyone in the building at least should have known that Tyrese Halliburton wasn't going to give it up. They keep him in the middle part of the floor so the defensive help can't get there quick enough. You have to choke off the elbows in this situation if you're Michigan. Iowa State's not going to beat you with 3-point shooters. Protect those elbows, protect that nail. Michigan doesn't do it, and Tyrese Halliburton makes them pay.
So Halliburton at the line and a chance at a 3-point play to make it a 7-point game. Can't do it. Tyrese Halliburton, I believe, has played every minute in this game.
Can you get the ball to the power part of the floor in late game, close game situations?
Simpson inside, kicks out, Livers, good look at it. Got it.
Yeah, they got it there. It was Xavier Simpson who got the ball to the power part of the floor, and you have to respond to that touch if you're Iowa State. Simpson makes the right read. Wow.
Inside, Rasir Bolton won. So 90 seconds to go. The foul on Wagner, and he is done.
Watch the paint touch, though, Boog, on the other end. Right there, boom. That's the power part of the floor that Iowa State had to respond to. And Isaiah Livers, again, just slides up to the slot 3 position. And Rasir Bolton takes a big hit, keeps his eyes up, finishes well. Iowa State just will not go away. You know if the free throw's made, the full court press is coming. If you're Michigan, you have to know it. You got 2 timeouts if you get hung up in trouble. And that's a good decision by Juwan Howard to put his arm around Phil Martelli. I can tell you that much, right? Would you do that if you're Juwan Howard right now?
Absolutely.
Coach, what do you think? And help me.
What do we need to do here? Time out of the court, 8-point game, 90 seconds to go. Iowa State and Michigan, the Wolverines with the advantage. John Shelby, Jimmy Dykes still to come. It'll be North Carolina and Alabama, and then to follow, it'll be Gonzaga, Southern Miss, and Oregon and Seton Hall. Our bad boy mowers battle for Atlantis. There's a look at the brackets.
And I've said it since we've been on the island that there's 4 teams in the top 25. I think Michigan is every bit as good as any top 25 team out there. Iowa State's going to be a problem in the Big 12. This field is loaded up.
Yeah.
We said earlier, the last 2 seasons, the winner here in Atlantis has gone on to win the national championship. I'm not so sure this year's national champion is not on this island as well.
Yeah,
Michigan can get there. They can absolutely get there. And you tell me that Michigan State's the best team in the Big 10 right now. I say no. I think it's these guys right here from Ann Arbor.
And again, this time of year, teams are trying to find themselves, trying to learn about what works, and these teams will look vastly different in February. For some, a good bit better, and for some, not as good as they look right now.
You and I spent the first half trying to figure that out, what works and really what doesn't. We'll watch it in the hotel later.
The only thing we figured out, no whistling.
Man, you're right.
I dropped the hammer on my partner.
Yes. Do you not love birds?
8-point advantage, Michigan basketball, trying to nail this thing down, and another turnover. That's the 8th turnover.
Crazy by Xavier. Got to score it. Got to
Feed
score
inside. And they go to the possession arrow, and it'll be Iowa State basketball. For Michigan, Wolverines came in averaging a little over 12 turnovers a game. 20 today, and yet here they are up by 8.
Xavier said, what, 7 or 8? But how about Xavier Simpson? Turns it over, Boog, and then sprints, dead out sprints to the rim, and is there to tie up the post-entry pass.
Still, though, 27 assists in the last 2 games.
That's just winning plays, man. When you turn the ball over as a player on film the next day, you should be the guy with the most urgency running from your mistake to the next. He turns it over. He doesn't drop his head and feel sorry for himself. It's next play, what must I do to help us win? Bam! Right there with the rake down and causes the forced jump ball. That's how you win ball games, man. Guys like that. Just move on to the next play and be tough.
Halliburton a 3. That wouldn't go. Brooks the rebound. And now you got a foul.
I would have bet my boat on my boat that shot would have gone.
And a travel. Wow. New life for Iowa State.
Didn't you think that shot by Halliburton would go? Because that's who he is when you need it.
Well, that's what he's done down the stretch. Tyrese Halliburton with a career-high 25.
Or the full-court press by Iowa State. The pressure. Eli Brooks, just 1-2,
1-2 and then 1.
Keep your eye on Halliburton taking this ball out of bounds because he's a quick pop back guy to the ball and make a play.
Inside, and a foul on Michigan, and Roger Bolton will go to the line. And that's what Iowa State's looking to do, try and chip away at the score with the clock stopped. 8-point game, foul on DeJulius.
That was such a good call play by Steve Prohm. Just a simple pop, isolation, and go to the rim. We don't have time to mess around with backing it out and running a play. Get it, attack, and keep that full court press on if you can now make your free throws.
And Bolton gets them both. And it's a 6-point game. Trey Jackson will check in.
You cannot afford another turnover right now if you're Michigan. You get in a hard spot. You got 2 timeouts. You better use one. Because a turnover here in a basket, you're in serious trouble.
And what are they saying? A foul?
They may look at this. Steve Prohm saying, go to the monitor and look at this. And there's no harm done by going.
Oh, I think that's off of Eli Brooks.
Man, it sure looked like it came off his right hand, did it not?
Wow, does this game change?
The right-hand reach-in right there is what initially got the ball loose, but I'm not so sure that.
I think it, but then it hit his hand.
Yes, I agree. You see the reach-in right there by Rasir Bolton, but then I would overturn this and give the ball to Iowa State based on that. I think that right there, that right hand right here, I'm going to circle it. You run it forward. Right, stop it right there. That hand right there, that hand is on the ball. I don't think Rasir Bolton's hand is on it anymore. And it goes off of Eli Brooks.
Another look. This is going to tell us, I think, a little more.
Rasir hits it. That is that to me, that is Iowa State's ball. Bolton got the ball moving out of. That's the right. Absolutely. That is the right call made by Jamie Luckey and Bert Smith and Todd Austin.
So it's overturned. It's a turnover. And Jimmy, Iowa State's down 6, 38.3 to go. It doesn't have to be a 3.
Absolutely does not, no. And if you're Eli Brooks, come on, man. The game's on the line. You got to be stronger, tougher than that. Let a guy just reach in and get the ball from you.
Halliburton, drive it. Nixon gets inside, off the glass, wouldn't go. And the foul on Halliburton.
And Iowa State drove at Boog and had no one coming to the offensive glass.
Iowa State on a 9-3 run.
I like it right now. Drive it, drive it, drive it. The other red jerseys, come, you're watching.
Yeah.
They were spotted up maybe thinking that maybe the penetration, the kick out 3. But man, you got to come at least. You never get a rebound if you don't try. Never.
Is that you miss all the shots you never take?
Very similar. But if you can't rebound if you at least don't try, right?
Yeah.
There was no try at that time by Iowa State.
Is Wayne Gretzky credited with, I believe Wayne Gretzky is credited with that quote. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Oh, I thought Wayne Gretzky had transitioned over to basketball.
Well, we're
like Carl Ravitch, who does a lot of games with me. He thinks I'm a baseball analyst at times too.
7-point game. Michigan on top. And Iowa State is going to talk it over.
Yeah, they've got to get one here. You got to call a timeout and make sure you extend the game a little bit here.
All right, time now for our player of the game, brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. And it is Xavier Simpson. Turned it over some, but 13 assists. It's his second double-double of the year, and a guy that involved his teammates all day long.
And it's the crunch time passes that this guy has made. He's made them all. The pocket passes have been perfect. That's the under the defense pass he made in the first half for wide out open 3. He drives the ball and drags defenders with him on the drive. That's a valuable player that has the ability to do it. He's got the ball down himself when he's needed to. There's no coward in Xavier Simpson. There was no coward in Stephen F. Austin last night at Duke. That was their mantra going in. And that's the type of player that Xavier Simpson is. And if you're Steve Prohm right now over in his timeout, you've got to get a bucket right now, at least get to the free throw line, get your press set up. Now you're in position to have to foul to try to extend the length of the game. But you cannot come up with an empty possession. I guarantee you, he told his guys, hey, the last time we had the ball, we got the shot, and no one went to the glass. I'm not worried about defensive transition right now. Get on the offensive glass if you're in the game.
So here we go. Iowa State basketball, 26.6 left in the game. And it's Michigan by 7. Nixon, that's a 3. Wouldn't go. Loose ball, and Simpson pulls it down and he's fouled. 7th rebound for Xavier Simpson. And he'll march down to the other end and shoot free throws. Xavier Simpson.
Boog, it starts with his voice talking about Xavier Simpson. It's his voice, his game, and his competitive spirit. And all 3 of those are at a really, really high level.
Miss there, and now it's Halliburton inside. Shot wouldn't go. Jacobson puts it back. 7 seconds to go. And Iowa State within 5.
As soon as the ball is caught, there's contact right now from Iowa State, and expected if you're Michigan. Don't look for a whistle right now. Catch the ball, be tough, close out the game.
And they foul Teske.
Good pause by Teske. Really good pause. I'm a big John Teske fan. Big dude that wasn't much of a factor in the first half, but he's all of 7'1". He moves his feet. That drop coverage didn't hurt him in the second half like it did in the first, because he keeps the ball away from the rim and makes you shoot over him. He's made 15-footers. He's a good free throw shooter. I like this guy.
Gets the first. Teske, the senior from Ohio, and a good free throw shooter. Got them both, and that'll do it. So Michigan will win the opener. Halliburton from way downtown wouldn't go. Michigan wins at 83-76 the final. And our first of 4 from the Bahamas in the book. Xavier Simpson and company with the W. The Maize and Blue with the victory here in Atlantis.
First time to see Juwan Howard really on the big stage this year. And man, he handled it really well. He trusted Phil Martelli late. Michigan's the real deal. Right now, my eyes tell me they're the best team in the Big Ten.
And they await the winner of our next game between North Carolina and Alabama. Still to come, Gonzaga, Southern Miss, Seton Hall, and Oregon. For Jimmy Dykes and our entire crew, I'm John Shambi. 83-76 the final. Up next, college basketball live scoreboard. Next game comes your way in about 20 minutes. Right now, we send it back to the studio. It's Kevin Connors with Sean Farnham and Seth Green.